Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Drinks, and it's in partnership with Sahwira Market Place. Here we are in the UK. Gentlemen, welcome. New studio, new everything. What do you guys think?
Oh, this is fantastic. I love
It's
this
beautiful.
setup. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Everything is just amazing. I didn't realize that. Just setup will just change things to that extent.
Yeah.
So these guys have done a fantastic job. When I came in Ndamboa Sizer.
All right.
No. Well done, guys.
It's a better team, right? Well done, well done, well done.
They're
well
much
done,
better
well done.
producers than you.
It's a great team. It's a great team.
But I think what it says is this is, the dawn of something very innovative, and it's going to be exciting. And I'm looking forward to the Sawira Marketplace and what we can actually, or what we're able to do with it. But before we start, maybe Rufaro, you can tell us what you're drinking.
Oh, yeah. I'm having this fantastic Argentinian Malbec, courtesy of Mkomangu Shumba TG. And I can tell you, he brought this aerator, just to get the most out of the wine. I know you guys are Philistines when it comes to wine, so you don't know, you wouldn't appreciate the value of aerating it. But
We just sing something around the neck. What's that thing around the neck?
So it's an aerator.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so just when you pour, it mixes the wine with air.
Maybe might need to put the bottle close so that it's in the shot.
Yeah. Okay,
Does it change the taste of the beverage? Or rather, does it change it from being an alcoholic beverages? Chango dark and I wonder who keeps this kind of apparatus. Cannot dark one
Wow. I can assure you, we were actually using this on Monday night when we went to dinner. TG is very disciplined about traveling with his toys to unlock the most of wines, and
at least it's a legal toy.
so it's just So when you aerate the wine, it unlocks more of the flavor, and you get to appreciate it more. And it's a beautiful thing. And this is an award-winning Argentinian Malbec. It's on the grapes that are in this wine come from a vineyard that's been growing grapes for more than 100 years. So it's actually quite special, and I'm delighted to be participating in it. And TG is here with us. He's watching the show and appreciating the wine with me, which is fantastic.
Okay. Once again, we are suffering some discrimination here.
Yeah, they totally forgot about us.
Yeah, they conveniently decided to forget about us. We are in the majority. You'd think that we are supposed to be the first one to get some goodies.
No.
So I think it's just a challenge to
there we go.
here.
Yeah, always remember the teetotalers, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We can still have something that
the thing is, so the man who actually brought us here, who's at the top of the totem pole, is also a teetotaler like you guys, but you have somehow failed miserably to unlock his favor in terms of organizing drinks. How did you manage that?
Well, we're going to report someone directly to him. So, let's see how that ends. But maybe to start off with, Rufaro, you perhaps want to just explain to our audience and to everybody what the Friday Drinks and Sahwira Marketplace is all about, and what brings us here to the fair in the UK, and what people should expect, especially going forward.
Yeah, so Nyaradzo's created this fantastic hub or marketplace called Sahwira Marketplace, which is a platform in which Zimbabwean businesses can access Zimbabweans in the diaspora. And obviously, we as Friday Drinks like to talk about all things business, entrepreneurial, investment and finance, and that's our forte. And we've gone into partnership with Sahwira Marketplace to evangelize the opportunity that's there for Zimbabweans in the diaspora to access Zimbabwe, and for businesses in Zimbabwe to access the diaspora. So the fair, we're here at this fantastic studio that they've set up for us to record our conversations here next door. is a fair, like vibe atmosphere where the various Zimbabwean businesses that have partnered with Sahwira Market Place have stands and booths where they are showcasing their products and services, and Zimbabweans in the diaspora have an opportunity over the next several days to come through and interact with these businesses at their booths and sign up for some of these products and services.
Sounds great. And, Zia, what should we expect, especially with our podcast and with the different people who are in the diaspora and in Zimbabwe? What should we expect with the marketplace?
So what's happening here is really we are moving a step forward. So moving from just conversation to facilitating commerce. So you'd find that the conversations for this, event, this project, they're really conversation that are going to, come up with some solutions for the businesses based in Zimbabwe, but also for the diaspora. So for the businesses, obviously, they've always been looking for new markets and also exporting their services, product and services. And the diaspora represents such a market where they can actually achieve the objective of exporting. And I think the beauty about it is you are going to sell your product and services to a market that is already aware of the product and services. So it's an export market, but to an audience or to a customer base that already can identify the product and services that you're offering. And on the part of the diaspora, it's really bringing the service providers closer. For those that still have got, they do business in Zimbabwe, they've got family in Zimbabwe, they've got ties. So every now and then, some even on a monthly basis, they are doing something. So instead of maybe sending, in addition to sending money to family and friends, they are being given through Sahwira Market Place a platform to directly transact, to do business. So it's a proper market place where the buyers and the sellers are coming together to transact, and this is good. It's great.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you know what it reminds me of, gentlemen? Do you remember when you would open a bank account if you were from a small town, let's call it Shurugi, for example, and you wanted to open a bank account and you couldn't because there were no banks in Shurugi and you had to travel all the way to Gweru to open a bank account. But at some point, Shurugi grew, the marketplace grew, and then the banks had to go to Shurugi and open a branch in Shurugi to service that particular market. And I think that's what the Sahwira Marketplace is actually doing, is it's giving a platform to where the market is, because the market is in the UK. So if you're a business in Zimbabwe and you want to reach out to the market, and it's very difficult, regulatory compliance issues, the number of hoops that you have to cross, just, never mind the oceans that you have to jump just to access that market. And before the marketplace, the people in the UK had to also, hop on a plane to go and open an account. What the marketplace actually does is it gives a platform for all the Zimbabwean businesses to the UK market. And I think that's huge. That is fantastic. And it reduces the cost of actually setting up a business in the UK.
Yeah. So I would also double click on what you're saying and say that in as much as, there are some challenges because, Zimbabwe and UK are so far apart, modern technology has made it easier to bridge that gap. But there's another gap that's also quite important that's not logistical, but it's a trust gap where in as much as it's quite easy for you to communicate with people in Zimbabwe when you're in the UK and vice versa, there's a lot of scope for things to go horribly wrong when you send money to somebody in Zimbabwe and you want them to execute on a certain business plan or other plan. And one of the things that the Sawira Marketplace solves is that trust gap, because Nyaradzo has built a brand that very well trusted. And you know that anybody using that platform on the business end, Nyaradzo has done due diligence on them. They've bridged the trust gap. So you know that whatever that business partner says they're going to deliver, they will actually execute on and deliver. So I think that's another very important aspect of the Sahwira Marketplace platform, which is that it bridges the trust gap as well as the other logistical gaps
practically,
and challenges.
From a practical perspective, maybe Zia, you can explain to us, because I know that Nyaradzo is already involved in funeral services in the UK. Maybe you can speak and expand on, the addressable market that's already there through Nyaradzo channel, and then how that is going to expand to across the UK and across the world and across, different countries.
So Nyaradzo is already doing funerals and repatriations to Zimbabwe, and then our funerals in the UK. So over the years, obviously, they have developed sort of, a pool of, stakeholders that they're interacting with. So, you can just imagine the number of funerals that they are conducting and the many people that are, come through their offices. And if they are, as one would expect, keeping tabs or, of everyone who is coming, it means they have got information around, the possible addressable market, possible, customers for a number of these businesses. So look, it's you can just guesstimate. I don't know how many Zimbabweans you think are here in diaspora, but I'll say a bigger percentage of them, they interact with Nyaradzo in one form or another. So obviously that's
typical of our funerals, right? Because every time you have a funeral, people across the UK literally come to the funeral parlor, as happens in Zimbabwe. Nyaradzo House, you find lots of people congregating. So that's an addressable market. But in the UK, it's quite unique because you have people coming all the way from Scotland coming to Nyaradzo House. And I think that they sort of did work out the numbers that people who literally walk through their parlor in a year is between 75 and 100,000 people. These are Zimbabweans who literally walk through. So already, if you look at that, that's an addressable market, an addressable channel on their platform. And these people will stick around the parlor for longer periods, 2-3 hours, because, they've traveled long distances. And what Nyaradzo is doing is they're saying these people are a potential buyers of products in Zimbabwe. And when these people are here, if indeed the Zimbabwean companies are also there, they're able to sell their products. And I think that's something that is unique and something that we can actually build on. And that's just in the UK. They're also in South Africa, in Australia, in the US, and all these are potential channels. So physical channels, never mind the online platform that this actually provides. And I think this is great for Zimbabwean companies. I keep saying this because if you've got, 100,000 people coming to a particular, place in a year, you need to be there so that you can sell your product or you can interact with those customers. That's a point of contact with your potential customers. So I think that's great feedback.
That's great. And generally, Zimbabweans have always identified with products and services from, from the home country. Yeah. So I think all of us have experienced a situation where, a relative at some point has asked you to send something across, whether it's some of the popular products, you could mention some of them like Cerevita, Mazoe, those kind of things. And these have really helped in maintaining the cultural ties, the traditions. And I think in fact, the business that has been at the forefront of trying to keep that Zimbabwean community together has been Nyaradzo. And I think the Sahwira Marketplace is actually a platform where they're now saying, oh, the other businesses can also come and access this market, which is good because because these people, in addition to the getting the funeral, the life assurance services from Nyaradzo, they also have got other needs. And it's basically it's what I'm seeing that seems to be playing out from the Nyaradzo, that they're actually going beyond the business of funeral. You see them being involved even with cultural activities like musical shows. I know they're involved with Zimfest, Duke, and Slay. Yeah, well,
So
I think and few others. So I think basically they're extending the product offering to this group of people.
Rufaro, this makes me wonder, does it mean that Nyaradzo House in Hertfordshire is Mbari Msika, Yegu UK?
Well, no, geez. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I think it, but I think that's I wouldn't want to use that as a marketplace. I'd say that if I was to create a Zimbabwean-based analogy and use a market, I would use the ZSE or the VFX. And not Mbari.
No, but do you realize that actually
this is a midterm place, right?
No,
it's both, right?
Mbari Msika is actually more efficient than the ZSE.
I agree.
Yeah, it's more efficient. I think that's the platform where the price mechanism actually work. On a daily basis, you've got farmers coming from different parts of the country, and the buyers are going there.
And physically they're there.
Yes.
So you have two things. The first thing is your physical presence of your customers, which is great because they're all coming to Nyaradzo House. And then the second thing is beyond that, they can still interact
Online.
on online platform.
Yeah, fair enough.
So no, it should not. Obviously, the idea of Mbari Msika for someone like Rufaro evokes this image of chaos and lack of structure, but it's actually one of the most
efficient market.
Efficient and well structured.
It's a great and efficient market.
Well structured market, which certainly that's what the Sahwira Market Place is. But obviously, on a different,
on a much more sophisticated,
more sophisticated online kind of platform.
So the other thing that Nyaradzo and Sawira have been talking about is buying a new place where you have another platform, a building, a physical building, physical presence, where you are able to host as many businesses from Zimbabwe as possible, where if anyone in the UK wants to interact with a business in Zimbabwe, all they need to do is to just come to that one place. Would you like to speak to that and what that would mean? I mean, here we're just having a conversation. We'll obviously get into the details as this particular fair goes on, and we'll get Nyati to explain further. But I thought that was, again, another exciting opportunity.
Yeah, it is. So I think if you look at the evolution of that, you start off from, Nyaradzo coming to establish some presence in the UK. And then they've created a big business interacting with more customers, repeat customers, and and then you are moving to the next stage where they've created a platform where they've invited other Zimbabwean businesses to come in, showcase their product and services, and what we have this week is just the beginning. The exhibition room looks good. The representation is great, but it's not even 5% of businesses that are based in Zimbabwe that might want to sell something to the diaspora. So the idea is really around scaling what we're seeing today, where you then sort of expand access to even more players that may have something to sell. And it goes all the way. I mean, it would be good, not just for the big corporations.
But the SMEs as well.
But the SMEs as well. And I think it creates, so many things can really come out of this, because all of a sudden, just imagine what it does even to, potential entrepreneurs that are based in the UK. So it's probably someone was developing something which they think can provide solutions to businesses in Zimbabwe. So instead of having to write to them, call them, or send them emails, that in any particular year, there will be that week of exhibition where you can go meet them, do business.
Well, this one will be a permanent thing.
Yes.
The vision is actually to have a permanent presence
yes.
where these people are permanently in the UK.
Exactly.
But
Then
it's all the companies.
then that becomes more like a cheaper way of establishing presence.
Yes.
So basically, the business would have to, for example, have one of their employees or agent who is going to be based in that place. So instead of scenarios where right now, if someone wants to interact, say with Kanban X, they have to call, talk to the Zimbabwean.
Or book an air ticket.
Yes, go to Zimbabwe. All that they have to do is to go to that exhibition park, speak to the people, and they should be able to get the quick response and the service.
Rufaro, is there an example of something like that that we've seen around the world? Because this is, to me, it's like, if you've been to San Francisco and Silicon Valley, where all you need to do is to go into Palo Alto and you experience, thousands of businesses, tech businesses in one place. So you don't need to be traveling across country. Whereas what we're doing here, or what Sahwira Marketplace will look like, is you'll have all the Zimbabwean companies, let's call them, 200 Zimbabwean companies that are in one place. So wherever you are in the UK, you will be able to just come in and you can interact with all these companies. And this is all year round.
Yeah, so I like that you use Silicon Valley as an example. I think it reminds me of the company that Paul Graham built called Y Combinator, where he basically, it's a hub where all these startups congregate and they have somebody guide them in terms of the critical aspects of their business to succeed. So, and what this hub will do is it will basically create a shortcut. So instead of doing everything on your own and figuring out all the potential problems and issues, you come to this one place where the hub has solved a lot of these problems, and you just plug in and you benefit from the network and from the experience and skills of the team that's built the hub, and you just focus on your core competency in terms of the knowledge of your product and how it might benefit the consumer. So, and it's a win for the hub, and it's a win for the business that's participating in the platform. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great vision. And
we've seen it again, even the Asian companies, the Chinese companies as well. It's where you take an ecosystem. So you're saying even in Zimbabwe, we have an ecosystem of businesses that's already there. So if that ecosystem, you're able to transport it and bring it to the UK, you reduce the cost of getting to the customer. You reduce the cost of having to set up in the UK, because a lot of those costs are actually shared. You reduce the cost of setting up a branch. Imagine if you were a bank and you wanted to set up in the UK. It's just very expensive. Whereas if you're in that marketplace, you have substantially reduced the cost of setting up, and you get access to the market. And I think that for the diasporans, you have this problem where whenever you need a product, you have to interact with somebody who's across the pond in Zimbabwe. You no longer need to do that. You can just do that in the UK. And even if it's a call, it's a local call. It's no longer an offshore call.
Yeah, and I think the marketplace is actually an important prelude to that, where although it's not going to have a physical presence on an ongoing basis. It's an online platform, and that's where you actually get a sense for the size of the addressable market, and you run your experiments there. And then over time, the data that is generated from this platform will be transferred to the physical hub that's envisioned at some point in the future. But I think the Sahwira Market Place, which is what we're going to make noise about over the next several days, is a great place to start because it's all online, and a lot of the people in the diaspora and in Zimbabwe are digital natives. They understand how to navigate the cyberspace and do things on their apps, on their phones. This platform is going to solve the payment problem. How do you move money from one jurisdiction to the other safely, cheaply? It's going to solve the trust problem. Am I dealing with a counterparty on the other side that's going to do what they promise? Am I plugged into a platform that gives me access to a market as big, big enough to make sense for me? So I think it solves those three problems from day one.
Yeah,
Okay,
so the way I also look at it is, beyond. So right now the marketplace is Zim businesses and the Zim diaspora, for example, here in the UK. But there's really nothing that stops the marketplace being accessible to, other, for example, in the UK, other residents here that may not be of Zimbabwean or for Zimbabwean heritage.
Yeah.
And I guess, when you look at, for example, in the restaurant business, the fact that you've got, for example, it's Mexican restaurant or there's Chinese or those kind of, country-themed sort of businesses. I think maybe at the very start they were catering for their own citizens. That way, or their own citizens that were resident in certain countries. But over time, you've started seeing that even the locals, they actually
embrace
it. So they can choose to dine at a Mexican restaurant in the UK, so nothing really stops. It just tells you that there's potential that maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, for some of the Zimbabwean product that some of them might actually find their way into the UK society beyond the diaspora.
True. So this is just a teaser of what's actually going to happen. And this week we've got a number of people who are actually exhibiting their wares and services, and we will talk to a number of them, and I'm looking forward to that. But maybe let's speak to what's the week going to look like. Ranga, maybe you can just give us a bit of just high snippets, because eventually we're going to get into the details with some of the Sahwira Marketplace people, and we'll get the finer details. But just give us maybe an overview, because this is just our opening podcast, but you can just explain what's going to happen.
So already here in at Nyaradzo House in Hertfordshire, we have got here, this is our studio, this is our set. So this is where we're going to have conversations with representatives of these companies. So it's not going to be your usual long-form kind of discussion where we're just talking about general issues, but they'll be given an opportunity to talk to the diaspora customer, pitch their products and services, and be able to provide solutions. So the expectation is even some business deals will have to be, finalized here. If someone thinks, okay, I've always wanted to do this. You guys think, this is the best thing. It's Old Mutual. I want to open an account with you, or it's Bonfi. I want to, to be on your packages and be able to cover my families in Zimbabwe, and so on and so forth. So that's really going to, the conversations are really going to facilitate that, commerce between the companies and the people in the diaspora. Then next door, that's where the exhibitions are. So the businesses that are here, each one of them has got a corner of theirs with a representative, and we're expecting a number of people that are going to come, go around from one desk to another, talking to the representatives of the companies, and get an opportunity to ask questions and to do business. we also then going to just have conversations, obviously, to the extent that we'll meet people of interest, where we'll do our usual sort of long form. So the first 2-3 days are going to be largely informal, like typical stuff that you do at a trade fair, where you just move around, talk to businesses, see their products, see, hear what services that they offer. But around on Friday, then we're gonna have a formal, opening event, if I could put it that way. And there are some dignitaries that are expected. So, and then beyond that, obviously, there's song and dance, celebrating.
And we're actually going to have a bar, right, on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
So the bar, song and dance, celebrating the success of this, and it's beautiful. Not so you would also just add that in addition to those businesses that are going to come through, there are others that are also partners to the project that could not come. And before we left, we had recorded one show, and I think after this we're going to record some more. So the idea is really to give them a platform to be able to talk directly. And beyond that, there's going to be a magazine. So we want the businesses to keep a sort of constant touch with the diaspora, being able customers, being able to provide them with information and just ensure that the marketplace is live. So it's not something that we do this year and then we wait for the next year. So it's really the main event that could be done on an annual basis, but the market is a daily thing. So on a day-to-day basis, really, it's going to be on that platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rufaro, any interesting guests on our podcast that you're looking forward to having a tipple and conversation with?
Oh yeah, we've got obviously given the nature of this event, we are going to mix and mingle with the visitors to the trade fair, and I suspect we're going to have some very interesting chance encounters, and where we bump into somebody doing something fascinating, and we drag them kicking and screaming to the studio and have a conversation. But we do have some individuals already on the docket that are scheduled. We're going to be chatting with some of the sponsors who managed to travel and join us here. So we're going to talk to Tembi, the CEO of Bonvi. We're going to talk to Nigel, the CEO of ProFeeds, ProFarm. We're going to have a conversation with some other executives that have traveled. So we're very excited about this. Obviously, and the nature of the conversations, we're going to focus on the products and services when we interact with the businesses from Zim, but a lot of them are found, both actually Tembi and Nigel are founders of their business. They have fascinating entrepreneurial journeys that they're going to share with us, and some of the more colorful anecdotes of building a business from scratch in Zimbabwe over the last 10 years. I think our audience can look forward to hearing from them.
Okay. And Ranga, the evolution, I suppose, of Friday Drinks, how do you see this? How do you see us evolving? You, the executive producer, what's your vision? What do you see?
We've always been for business. We have always been for business because we are business people in our own right. And, our businesses are mostly in the service industry. And you want to create capacity so that you have got more clients, you have got more customers. So we see all these businesses as our customers in one form or another, whether for investment banking, our services, or for some advisory work that we do for them. So we, as Friday Drinks, really, our conversations were really to sort of promote the growth of local businesses, to also make contribution to the policy discussions. And I think platforms like this really is sort of linked to what we've done in the past. We've been at so many of these conferences. So we've done the likes of Zimbabwe, ZNCC, CZI, ICAS, and
We
why
even did philanthropy.
exactly. So
In true or false?
exactly.
Remember?
So we are really trying to make business issues mainstream. We are trying to break the barriers, to get business people to talk, to demystify what business is, and also in a way inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we want to give them the right role models, and in Zimbabwe it's a big issue, right? So the so the show is actually, like I've said at the very beginning, that we are at a stage where we are moving the conversations a notch higher to be facilitators of commercial activity, commercial trading activities. And I think over the years we have gained the confidence of business, which is what we have always wanted. That we want the business sector to identify with us. What is good for them is good for us. Is good for the economy. Is good for the country as a whole. So the podcast obviously we expect it to continue to grow, covering all conversation that we think are going to be contributing to the positive development of our economy. So we are happy and willing to work with businesses with a like mind, everyone that thinks that they can make a contribution to the prosperity of our country.
And Rufaro, for you, when you look at Friday Drinks and now with collaboration with Sahwira Market Place?
Oh, I think it's incredibly humbling. The idea was
Have we not sold out?
no, which is what I want to speak to, because Ranga sounds so serious, and it almost sounds like we know what we're talking about when we're here on the show. And look, the idea is to have an informal platform where we have irreverent conversations about things that we find interesting and normally discuss as friends on a Friday. We find these subjects interesting because we're passionate about them. We entrepreneurial stories are incredibly fascinating and interesting. We think businesses and investment and finance are interesting, and we want to make we have an opinion on
Most things.
in that space, and we believe that there's an opportunity to engage policymakers on how we move the Zimbabwean economy forward. And while we're at it, we can also do other things like Ranga has articulated, give business executives and founders and entrepreneurs a platform to share with us their journeys, their perspectives, how they've built great products and services, navigated through crisis, things that we also find interesting, that resonate with our audience. So it's incredibly humbling that this project of ours has taken us to where we are today, where sometimes very important, serious businesses and individuals interact with us and share their thoughts with us. So we hope to remain faithful to that ethos. You're asking about selling out. I think we can. The two are not mutually exclusive. We can have very serious conversations and build platforms while also having a whole bunch of fun, drinking interesting tipple, and sharing the more colorful anecdotes about some of the things that happen in the world of business and finance and entrepreneurship.
Okay, great. You heard it first, yeah, at the Friday Drinks in collaboration with Sahwira Market Place. So we are here at Nyaradzo House, and it's been fantastic. So we've got the physical presence. If you want to come through, please do. You can come and meet the different Zimbabwean businesses that are already here, and you can interact with us. And I know lots of you always wanted to have conversation with us, and this is the platform. And I think that we have all the time in the world, and that's what we love doing. We love debating and talking to people. So I'm looking forward to talking to a number of you. And beyond that, if you're a business still in Zimbabwe and you want to get in touch and you want to understand what's going to happen beyond this, I think immediately will be the online platform where you'll be able to interact with the diasporans directly. And in the future will be a physical presence where you'll be able to easily set up in the UK and across. Maybe in America you'll see us again maybe next year, South Africa, Australia, right across. I think, to me, and I sort of by what you guys have said, it's a humbling experience because we get to interact with the diasporans. And I was a diasporan at some point in my life, in my career, and I know just how difficult and hard it was just to reintegrate myself in the Zimbabwean society and starting a business in Zimbabwe. So I think that having a place and a platform where you can share these ideas and you can share how to, network, because, the Zimbabwean nuances is always different from everywhere else. And beyond just the business and economics is interacting with the policymakers, because I think that's one thing that's very critical that we've managed to do is to have ideas around policy making and to have a direct voice, not just to government, but to all the stakeholders, and say, we are the voice for business. And these are the issues that we're interested in. And I think it's fantastic. And I just hope that we continue being blessed and everybody continues to support us and the platform grows. And especially this interaction, as Zia has said, of the marketplace just makes this even better because we are now facilitating business. And I think that really warms my heart. And on that note, thank you very much. And let's see you next show. Cheers.
Cheers.
From the comfort of your home and wherever you may be, getting in touch with Nyaradzo has never been easier. Just scan the QR code or WhatsApp hi to Sawi on 0712 992 892. Hi Daniel, Sawi is available 24/7, 365 days. Nyaradzo Life Assurance Company, convenience redefined.